Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with a Fallout 76 news update. It seems like a lot more of exciting information has come out of QuakeCon. I understand a lot of people were really not too thrilled about the summer DLC roadmap because a lot of it featured PvP content, which is not why we're really enamored with the Fallout franchise. However, we have a lot of brand new information on the Wastelanders update, which is the one that's bringing human NPCs to the table for Fallout 76. So we're going to be getting into that, as well as when private servers could be arriving, which is huge for this game, as private servers can make or break the experience for a lot of folks. Now, for starters, I want to talk about with Fallout 76 when the Wastelanders update would arrive. I predicted in yesterday's video that I thought the Wastelanders update would come around sometime in October to give Doom Eternal in November all the time and attention, but it seems that's not the case based off the QuakeCon panel that happened yesterday. So let's take a listen to what project lead Jeff Gardner had to say about it.
To play Wastelanders?
Come by the office. Oh, I'm just kidding.
People take this stuff very
I know.
We are shooting, like I said, for fall, we are targeting November, okay?
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's not, I don't want to say definitive, because it may end up coming a little bit earlier or it may end up coming a little bit later. They are currently aiming for November, which I think is a little bit surprising because while not a lot of people are thrilled with Fallout 76, I think people do signify this and view it as a potential turning point for the entire game, and a lot more eyes are going to be on it. And if I'm Bethesda, I want everyone to be talking and thinking about Doom Eternal. So I found that a little bit shocking because you always see BGS dominating the conversation no matter where they go, a little bit less because of Fallout 76, but I feel like this might not be the best choice to land it in the same month as your big holiday title. I'd want everyone going for that, but still, I'm happy to know that it is coming in November, hopefully. And when it does come around, it looks like it'll be a pretty good time. And it seems like this isn't the only type of nostalgia-based stuff that's coming to the Fallout franchise. We're getting that old text box with tons of dialogue options, but it seems like we're also getting classic weapons returning to the game, and not in the form, ladies and gentlemen, of the Atomic Shop, where a lot of it was cosmetically driven and lots of skins. These are brand new weapons. We actually got to look at them, and Kaito Genesis, actually a YouTuber who's been on the channel way back in the past, posted on Reddit the images for both the classic Gauss and plasma weaponry that is returning, and it looks great. I'm actually really happy to see some of these types of classic weapons coming back. I think this is the right direction for Fallout 76, between what they're doing with going with Fallout 3 style dialogue, as they call it, which is also Fallout New Vegas, but also digging into the past and inspiring these weapon designs from Fallout 1 and 2. Very smart choice, because Bethesda's identified, okay, we don't really even have much of a player base. It's there, don't get me wrong, it's not completely dead, I'm not going to act like it is, but we don't have much of a player base out there. We need to connect with the hardcore fans who built our franchise into this worldwide phenomenon, and doing stuff like this, bringing back classic weapons with their models to represent the older Fallout games, paying tribute to the older Fallouts with a wonderful looking dialogue system. These are the things that let us be excited about your IP and build it up for the right reasons. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like BGS is a name that gets dragged through the dirt a ton, and I feel like it's still sometimes shocking because this was a company that was so on top of the world, and they just once, as I said earlier, always dominated the conversation. So it's just really weird to see when their name comes up now, it's with a lot of skeptics, it's with a lot of people not approving of their actions, and I'd love to see them start winning back some consumers with this. And I think a free big Wastelanders update with human NPCs alongside classic weapons returning could be great news for the franchise and signify that year 2 might be the game that Fallout 76 should have been in the first place. Furthermore, we have private servers. The following information comes from PCGamer.com. That article will be linked in the description down below. There's always been a laundry list of requests from the Fallout 76 community, features and systems that players would like to see added to the game. A few of these requests were addressed during the Fallout 76 roundtable at QuakeCon 2019 today. Perhaps the most notable was a question about private servers for Fallout 76, which Bethesda originally said would be added to the game sometime after launch. Private servers will be coming in the near future, said development director Chris Meyer during the roundtable. They're coming sooner than you think. That's all I'll say, added project lead Jeff Gardner, which was followed by cheers and applause from the QuakeCon audience. Now, I think this is great news, especially as someone who streams a decent amount. I love the idea of firing up a private server, getting all of you into a game, because when I stream multiplayer games, like I recently streamed Smite, and that's a very limited team. You have 5 on each side, so there's only so many viewers you can get involved in the experience. But with Fallout 76, when you can get up to like 30 people on a server with you, it feels like you're accommodating as many people as possible. So I think playing with viewers could actually be a thing now, but also it's just good for friends to have a private server where they can't be bothered by anybody. Now, I think some of the rule changes that Bethesda Game Studios brought in for Fallout 76 to prevent griefing have actually worked tremendously well now. So I feel like that's no longer an issue, but private servers are going to be great because hopefully, they did not talk about this, but hopefully, and this is just my speculation, eventually they will add modding to the game, and then private servers will truly flourish because everyone will have their own custom servers, and that will bring Fallout 76 to a whole new level. If they combine landing Wastelanders with doing modding like they've done in Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas in the past, I really think 76 could turn it around and skyrocket up people's lists of games they want to get back into. Now, we also covered last week how Fallout 76 had yet another big problem. And that was patch 11, where it seemed like there was a lack of testing, a lack of QA. And so during this same panel, it was addressed that they are actively engaging in several measures to make sure that the builds that are delivered are the highest quality. Gardner said obviously a PTS is one of them. So they did not guarantee that a public testing server was something that was going to actually happen, but they are looking into it. I don't know what else they could actually be looking into outside of that to make sure that their patches could come out smooth and tested properly, especially since it seems like with Fallout 76, these patches don't get tested. So any type of testing would work in their advantage, especially if it's your players. You don't even have to pay anybody. I don't get it. Bethesda's in such a great position where when it comes to modding, testing stuff, fans literally offer to do it for free instead of them paying people. It's absolutely money in the pocket for them, and it's insane for a game like Fallout 76 that they struggle to grasp these types of concepts. Like if I'm in his shoes, if I'm in Jeff's shoes right now, I'm like, yeah, we're doing a PTS. I'm sorry. Like, it's got to happen. That's absolutely something that's got to happen. I'm surprised that they were more willing to confirm, yeah, private servers coming sooner rather than later instead of a PTS, which is something I think the game desperately needs. If we had to wait a little bit for private servers in exchange for a PTS, I think that would actually be good news for the game because it means that more patches like Wastelanders would come out in a stable fashion. I do hope, though, that we are seeing Wastelanders get the extensive testing that Nuclear Winter did, because I have been told from various sources that testing for that mode began sometime in about early March. So they did have a good couple of months to tweak and work on that mode while they were handling other patches. And maybe that got a little bit of the focus. But anyway, overall, a good set of news for Fallout 76 between its release window, classic weapons coming back, as well as private servers sooner rather than later. On the case of private servers, when do I personally think they're coming? Well, I'm right now 0 for 1 with my guesses. Usually I'm pretty spot on with my Bethesda-based guesses, and I actually, in general, industry-wide, I'm solid. But when it comes to this, I'm a little unsure. They say sooner rather than later. It's not on the roadmap for September when we saw the summer DLC. So I'm imagining that it means that they're working on it. It's coming sooner rather than we'd expect, which means maybe it'll be sometime in October, that unmarked area, because we don't know much about Wastelanders' roadmap and how they're going to release that, or if it's going to be one gigantic patch. We'll see in due time, but still, I think that maybe this will be an October thing or a November thing. What would be really cool is if they kept the ball rolling and they did it in December. Then you'd have a month of something cool happening for Fallout 76 all year round, and I think that would really push the game to a new height, and maybe some late holiday sales, because I imagine the game would be on a pretty significant sale. This game, like I said, it's at a point where it can start to turn around here. This is their No Man's Sky opportunity. We'll see if Bethesda takes full advantage of that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for the Fallout 76 info drop. 3 pretty interesting pieces there. I will have each of the sources linked in the description down below. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this news in the comments down below. Do fire away, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and by the way, the gameplay in the background that you've been watching is Wolfenstein Youngblood. I know a couple of people are going to fire away in the comments down below asking that. And to those who are wondering, I'm still enjoying it, despite that being a little bit against the grain. It's not perfect, it's flawed, but it has a lot of good qualities, and I enjoyed it. I streamed for a couple hours the other night. So anyway, that'll do it for me. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.